Be honest with yourself for a second. How many times have you felt like you're doing everything right, but nothing seems to change? You push, you try, you put in the work, but the results? Barely there. It feels like life is moving forward for everyone else, while you're stuck in the same cycle, waiting for a breakthrough that never comes. And maybe you've started to wonder, what am I missing? Why does success feel so effortless for some people, while I have to fight for every inch of progress? Here's the truth most people will never tell you. The problem isn't your effort. It's not that you're not working hard enough, not smart enough, or not lucky enough. The real issue? There's something inside you blocking everything you say you want. And until you see it, until you fix it, you'll keep running in circles, wondering why nothing ever clicks. But here's the good news. Once you recognize what's really keeping you stuck, you can change it. You can stop fighting against yourself. You can finally start moving toward what you want, without resistance, without sabotage, without the endless frustration. So if you're ready to understand what's really been holding you back and how to finally break free, keep watching. Because what comes next might just change everything. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. What if the real reason you don't have what you want isn't bad luck, lack of effort, or even timing, but you? What if you've been unconsciously rejecting the very things you desire without even realizing it? Most people assume that if something hasn't happened, it's because life is withholding it. But the truth? It's not that life is keeping things from you, it's that your own energy is blocking the way. Energy is not just about thoughts or emotions. It's the unseen force that either pulls things toward you or pushes them away. And whether you realize it or not, your energy is communicating with the universe at all times. If you constantly feel stuck, if things never seem to go your way, if opportunities slip through your fingers, it's not random. It's a pattern created by your energy. But how does this happen? It starts with the silent beliefs hidden deep in your subconscious. Maybe you've told yourself, I want success, yet every time an opportunity comes, you hesitate. Maybe you long for deep love, but when someone gets too close, you pull away. On the surface, you think you're open, but beneath it all, something is saying, I don't trust this, I don't deserve this, or worse, this isn't safe. This is what no one tells you. Your energy is protecting you from what you're afraid of, not from what you want. You might be unknowingly treating the things you desire as threats. If you've experienced failure before, your energy remembers. If you've been hurt before, your energy holds onto that memory. It creates a defense mechanism, a silent barrier that keeps you in the familiar, even if the familiar is painful. Think about it. How many times have you wanted something, but then sabotaged yourself? You were excited, motivated, ready to go, and then suddenly doubt crept in. Fear whispered in your ear. You procrastinated. You made excuses. And before you knew it, you were exactly where you started. That wasn't a coincidence. That was your energy, keeping you in your comfort zone. But here's the truth. You can't attract something you're afraid of receiving. If your energy is wired to see success, love, or abundance as a potential danger, then no matter how much you chase it, it will always stay just out of reach. This is why so many people feel like they're running in circles. They think they're manifesting, they think they're working hard, but in reality, they're pushing what they want further away. This block is subtle but powerful. It's not just about negative thinking, it's about the emotional walls you've built to protect yourself. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you don't need love because relationships have only brought you pain. Maybe you tell yourself that money doesn't matter because every time you had some, it disappeared. Or maybe you believe deep down that true success only comes with struggle, so anything that feels easy must be a trick. Your subconscious doesn't want you to fail, but it also doesn't want you to change. It clings to old experiences, replaying the same emotional patterns over and over. And until you break free from this loop, you will always find yourself in the same situations, repeating the same mistakes, and wondering why nothing is changing. But here's the secret. Your energy is not set in stone. The same way it has blocked things, it can also invite them in. But first, you have to rewire how you respond to opportunities, how you handle emotions, and how you perceive what's possible for you. This is where true transformation begins, when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as the creator of them. The moment you accept this truth, everything changes. You stop feeling powerless. You stop blaming luck, timing, or external circumstances. You start realizing that what you seek is already seeking you. It's just waiting for you to be ready. And readiness isn't about wanting. It's about allowing. So how do you fix this? How do you stop blocking yourself from everything you desire? First, you have to see the blocks, the hidden patterns and beliefs running in the background of your mind. You have to uncover what your energy has been resisting, what you've been unknowingly rejecting. Because once you see it, you can change it. And that's exactly what we'll dive into next. Because the biggest block isn't just about your thoughts, it's about your heart. If your heart is secretly closed, nothing will flow into your life, no matter how hard you try. But once you unlock this, everything shifts. Before continuing with our spiritual evolution, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. You've been told that if you think positively, visualize your dreams, and stay focused, you'll attract everything you desire. But what if that's not the full story? What if no matter how much you want something, you're still unconsciously rejecting it? What if the biggest barrier between you and abundance isn't the world around you, but the way your heart has been conditioned to shut it out? Most people believe their mind controls their reality, that if they can just think the right thoughts, everything will change. But the truth? Your mind isn't in charge. Your energy is. And your energy isn't just made up of thoughts, it's created by something much deeper. Your heart. Science has already proven what ancient wisdom always knew. Your heart is the most powerful energetic force in your body. It has its own intelligence, its own frequency, and its own ability to attract or repel. It generates a field of energy that extends beyond you, influencing not just how you feel, but how others perceive you and how opportunities show up in your life. But here's where most people get stuck. If your heart is carrying unresolved pain, fear, or resistance, it doesn't matter how much your mind wants something, your energy will block it. Think about it. How many times have you almost had what you wanted, only for it to slip away at the last moment? How often have you met someone amazing, only to sabotage the connection? Or had an opportunity land in your lap, but suddenly felt overwhelmed, doubtful, or unprepared? That wasn't a coincidence. That was your heart's energy shutting the door before you even realized what was happening. This happens because your heart stores emotional memory. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every moment where life didn't go as planned, it's all recorded. If you've ever been hurt in love, your heart remembers. If you've ever struggled financially, your heart remembers. And whether you realize it or not, those memories shape how your energy responds to new experiences. They create invisible walls around what you're willing to receive. You might want success, but if your heart associates success with stress, pressure, or the risk of failure, you'll unknowingly resist it. You might want love, but if love has ever meant pain, abandonment, or heartbreak, your energy will push it away, even if you don't realize you're doing it. This is why people find themselves in the same cycles, repeating the same struggles, always feeling like something is missing. But here's the real danger. You don't just block what you want. You start convincing yourself you never really wanted it in the first place. You tell yourself things like, maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm asking for too much. And just like that, you settle. You lower your expectations. You shrink your dreams. And over time, you stop believing in the possibilities that were once so clear to you. So how do you change this? How do you break free from the emotional patterns that have kept your heart closed for so long? The first step is recognizing the resistance. Most people live unaware of how much they've been conditioned to reject their own desires. They assume that because they want something, they must be open to receiving it. But that's not how energy works. Start by asking yourself, what part of me is afraid of actually having what I want? What beliefs do I have about success, love, or abundance that might be limiting me? Am I truly willing to receive, or am I just comfortable with the idea of receiving? These are not easy questions. They force you to confront the hidden layers of your own resistance. But they're necessary, because once you start identifying the walls, you can finally start taking them down. The good news? Your energy is not permanent. Just like it has been conditioned to block, it can be reconditioned to receive. The process starts by shifting how your heart feels about what you desire. Instead of associating success with stress, start linking it to freedom. Instead of associating love with pain, start linking it to peace. Instead of fearing abundance, start trusting that it's safe to have everything you desire. And this isn't just about thinking differently. It's about feeling differently. Because the moment your heart begins to feel safe with what you want, your energy will finally allow it in. That's when the resistance begins to dissolve. That's when opportunities stop slipping away. That's when the things you once had to chase start naturally flowing toward you. But there's one more step to fully unlocking this shift, because even if your heart is open, if your habits are still rooted in scarcity, you will unconsciously recreate the same struggles. And in the next chapter, I'll show you exactly how to break those patterns for good, so that abundance doesn't just appear, but stays. Most people don't realize this, but the moment you decide you want something, two things happen. First, the universe begins aligning circumstances to bring it to you. But second, and more importantly, your own mind starts working against you. It sounds strange, doesn't it? Why would you sabotage your own desires? Why would you unconsciously push away something you've been longing for? The answer is simple, because deep down, you've been programmed to resist receiving. Think about it. Since childhood, you've been conditioned to believe that nothing comes easy. You've heard phrases like, "If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is." You've been taught that you must struggle, earn, and prove your worth before you deserve abundance. And so, when something begins to flow effortlessly toward you, your subconscious panics. It doesn't trust ease. It doesn't trust receiving without struggle. And before you know it, you find ways to block, delay, or sabotage what's meant for you. This is why people who finally meet the right person end up overthinking and pushing them away. It's why opportunities that seem too perfect suddenly trigger doubt. It's why, even when life hands you exactly what you asked for, there's a part of you that hesitates, because somewhere deep inside, you're still convinced that receiving shouldn't be this easy. But here's the truth: receiving is not the problem. You are. Not because you're broken, not because you're unlucky, but because no one ever taught you how to let abundance in. And if you don't actively change this, you'll keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. So how do you break the cycle? How do you stop blocking what's meant for you and start receiving fully? The first step is awareness. You need to recognize the ways in which you unconsciously say no to what you want, even when you think you're saying yes. Start by asking yourself, do I struggle to accept compliments, gifts, or help from others? Do I feel guilty when things come easily to me? Do I have a habit of sabotaging good things in my life because they feel too good to be true? These may seem like small things, but they reveal something huge: your relationship with receiving. If you're someone who constantly rejects, doubts, or devalues the things that come to you with ease, it's a sign that your energy is still in scarcity mode. And as long as that's the case, no matter how much you want something, you will never truly allow yourself to have it. But here's the good news: you can reprogram your energy. Just as you've been conditioned to resist abundance, you can condition yourself to embrace it. The process isn't complicated, but it does require intentional action. And it starts with these 3 steps. Number 1, change the way you respond to small forms of receiving. If you can't receive small things, you won't receive big things. Start paying attention to how you react when someone gives you a compliment, when an unexpected opportunity arises, or when life offers you something good. Do you brush it off? Do you feel the need to earn it first? Do you reject it without even thinking? Catch yourself in these moments. And instead of resisting, try this. Just say thank you. Allow yourself to receive, no questions asked. Number 2, reframe the meaning of ease. If you associate ease with laziness or luck, you'll never allow yourself to experience true abundance. Stop believing that struggle is a requirement for success. Some of the most powerful, successful people in the world don't work harder than you. They just work differently. They align with opportunities instead of chasing them. They trust the flow instead of forcing things to happen. And most importantly, they know that receiving is their natural state, not something they have to fight for. Number 3, visualize yourself receiving without resistance. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Take a moment each day to visualize yourself fully accepting what you desire, without hesitation, without guilt, without fear. Imagine yourself stepping into a reality where everything flows toward you effortlessly. Feel what it's like to live in that energy. The more you practice this, the more your subconscious will start believing that it's safe to receive. And once your energy shifts, your reality will follow. But there's one more thing you need to understand, because even if you master these steps, your old programming will try to pull you back. You'll still have moments of doubt. You'll still feel resistance creeping in. And if you don't know how to maintain your new energy, you'll find yourself slipping right back into your old habits. That's why in the next chapter, I'll show you the final energy shift that makes receiving your natural state, so that abundance doesn't just come and go, but stays. You've spent your entire life believing that getting what you want requires effort, struggle, and relentless pursuit. that you have to fight for success, chase love, and force opportunities into your reality. But here's the real reason why you've been feeling stuck. Your energy has been working against you, not for you. And unless you shift it, nothing will change. Most people live in a state of resistance without even realizing it. They think they're moving toward their desires, but in reality, they're constantly blocking them. Every time you doubt yourself, second-guess your choices, or act out of fear, you're reinforcing an energetic pattern of lack. You're telling the universe, I don't believe this is possible for me. And as long as that belief exists, your external reality will reflect it. This is why no matter how hard some people work, they never seem to break free. It's not about effort. It's about alignment. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you're operating from a place of scarcity, fear, or unworthiness, you will continue to manifest experiences that confirm those emotions. And the only way to break this cycle is to shift the energy you bring into every moment. So how do you do that? How do you move from resistance to flow? It all starts with reprogramming your emotional frequency. And it begins with one simple but powerful realization. You must learn to embody the energy of already having what you desire. Think about it. If you knew with absolute certainty that what you wanted was already on its way to you, how would you feel? You wouldn't be desperate. You wouldn't be anxious. You wouldn't question whether it was possible. You would relax into it. You would trust the process. And that trust alone would shift everything. But let's take it deeper. If you want to actively shift your energy, here are 3 things you must start doing immediately. Number 1, stop waiting and start living in the feeling of already having it. Most people put their dreams on hold, waiting for the right time or external validation before they believe in their success. But energy doesn't work that way. If you keep telling yourself, I'll feel abundant when I have more money, or I'll feel loved when I meet the right person, you're actually pushing those things further away. Instead, embody the energy now. Start feeling wealthy before the money arrives. Start feeling loved before the relationship manifests. When you shift into the frequency of already having it, you magnetize it toward you. Number 2, release the energy of desperation and control. One of the biggest reasons people block their desires is because they try to control everything. But the more you grip onto something, the more you suffocate its natural flow. You need to start trusting that what's meant for you cannot pass you by. This doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you take inspired action while allowing the universe to handle the how. Desperation repels. Confidence attracts. Number 3, make peace with the waiting phase. Here's a hard truth. Things don't always happen on your timeline. But just because something hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean it isn't on its way. What most people do wrong is they let impatience shift their energy into frustration, doubt, or fear, which completely blocks what they've been working toward. Instead of resisting the waiting period, start using it as proof that things are aligning for you. The moment you surrender to divine timing, you allow everything to unfold in the best possible way. And this is where the real transformation happens, because once you shift into this new way of being, you no longer feel like you're waiting for life to happen. You become the creator of your own reality. Things that once felt impossible start flowing effortlessly. The right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences begin showing up because you finally stopped resisting and started receiving. So let me ask you, are you ready to make the shift? Are you ready to let go of the old patterns, the old doubts, the old ways of chasing, and step into a life where everything flows toward you naturally? Because the truth is, abundance was never something you had to fight for. It was always waiting for you to align with it. You've spent years believing that success, love, and abundance had to be chased, earned, or proven. You've been taught that struggle is part of the process, that if something comes too easily, it must not be real. But here's the truth. You were never meant to fight for what's already yours. The only thing standing between you and everything you desire is your ability to receive it. The moment you stop resisting, stop overthinking, stop telling yourself you're not ready, it all begins to flow. So now you have a choice. You can keep following the same patterns, questioning why nothing changes, or you can break free. You can decide right now that you will no longer let your past dictate your future, that you will no longer let fear hold you back from what's meant for you. Because abundance isn't something you wait for. It's something you allow. And now that you know how, will you finally let it in? If this video has changed your spiritual journey and helped you connect with your universal strength, subscribe to the channel, leave a like below, and activate the notification bell so we can notify you when new content arrives. We also suggest watching the video indicated on the screen so you can continue your journey of spiritual growth and inner evolution of knowledge. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and see you in the next video.